All right. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another, episode of Building LaraShoppe. Hope y'all are having a good night. Hope all my friends in the U.S. went out and voted today. And if you're watching right now instead of voting, stop what you're doing and go vote. Otherwise, if you can't vote or you are in a different country, don't worry about it. So tonight, what we're going to do here, last time we left off, we were looking at what are we talking about here? Our color selection components. We were doing some testing with them as well. And if we look at our sort of to-do list here a little bit more, we were kind of in the middle of this adding more product info, getting the size and price, and probably also color details up on the page. And now that we've pretty much done that, I think we had one more feature, and that was in our size selector, only showing sizes that are associated with the selected color. And now we're starting to get into situations where our components are going to be talking and sharing state to one another. So I just want to make sure that we install Vuex at this point to make sure that we have some sort of state management set up in place. I mean, we could do it with an event bus or something like that. It's not a recommended best practice. And there are ways to hack it and get around it, but at this point, we're going to need to know the selected color in order to limit the sizes. So it's going to involve some shared state. And so we might as well get Vuex installed right now. Alrighty, so I've kind of was looking at the docs a second ago. So let's just pull it in with yarn. Pretty simple stuff. So we'll add Vuex. And Vuex, for those of you who don't know, is Vue.js's state management library. From the React world, I think it's similar to Flux or Redux. So that might be how you do it over there. I don't know. I'm not an expert on React. I can talk to you about the Vue stuff, but not React. So, okay, great. We've got Vuex, and now we're going to need to import Vuex and set that up in our app.js. Inside our Laravel default build here. Yeah, let's hop into here. So we've got Vue defined. We actually might define it in our Bootstrap. I think we'll just do it in app.js. Cool. Yeah, because that's already defined. We don't need to worry so much about getting that set up. Okay, great. So we're importing Vuex from Vuex, and now we have that defined. Cool. I think that'll work for us. Let's see, requires promise. That should be fine. Nice. Application structure. I haven't used Vuex in a second, so I just need to refresh my mind about what we're doing. Okay, so I have a store file, index.js, actions.js. Oh, they've got a shopping cart example. That's really nice. I didn't know that. We might steal that, or some of it, or at least the architecture. Maybe not the implementation details. Let me just open that up. What is that, a Git repo? Nice. Very nice. So what do they have here? They've got their app.js. And they've got Vue, and then so that's the step I was missing there. And what we're going to do, and I was trying to remember and I couldn't remember it. So in this index.js, oh, interesting, they're defining their whole store here, which we're going to need to do. Okay, so let's go ahead and start doing that. So in our JS folder, we're going to add a new directory, and we'll call it store. And we'll just kind of follow what they had going on. And then we'll call this index.js. Great. And it looked like they were doing their imports directly there. I'll try and put that over there. This for now. So they were importing Vue again and Vuex and defining the store like that. I don't know if we're going to want to do that, or if it'll build for us. So then they import Vue again. I wonder if Vue is smart enough to like tree shake and not get super involved there. But okay, so then let's go to app.js, and we'll just kind of grab these guys and bring them down into that index.js. And it's probably going to tell us, yeah, Vue's not defined. So we'll just import it. I don't know. We'll see. That shouldn't really affect our page load or anything like that. Cool. So we've got that nice and set up. This is great. Nice to follow some boilerplate and just get a feel for how some other folks have implemented something. Alrighty, so we don't really care about the default. The modules are in there, so when we start importing our modules, that's great. They've got some plugins in here. We don't really care about that. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab this. We'll grab it all and then... Oop, that's not what I wanted. But that is what I wanted. Okay, so we don't have any modules just yet. We don't care about the debug. At least I don't just yet. We don't care about the plugins either. And now what we're going to do is we're going to, inside of our app.js, import that store like they were doing. I should have opened these in two separate files, folders, tabs, whatever they're called today. And yeah, here's what they're doing. They're importing that, so that export default that we defined in index.js. So that's what they're exporting, and we'll go ahead and grab that. And then we'll go ahead and use the store in our, I guess we don't have to have that in JavaScript. And then we'll go ahead and use that in our Vue instance, and we should be good. That should take care of some of our Vuex for us. Alrighty there. So they're using modules. What's the deal with modules? I know we want to, I think we have to enable them somehow. Local state, not so much, maybe not. Namespacing, that's what I'm interested in. So I guess we do that on the module itself. I feel like it used to be you would set that namespace true on the global. Oh, that's nice. I don't know if were able to do that in the old days. That dynamic registering of modules. I tell you, this ecosystem has been evolving so rapidly over the last, I guess, 2 or 3 years that I've been using it. It's awesome. It's been really, really phenomenal. Okay. Well, we can start rolling with it. So I guess a question is, do we even need modules at this point? Our app is pretty small. We really are only caring about a selected color. We're probably going to have some cart stuff. I like to use modules. Okay, so let's take a step back. Modules in Vuex are ways that we can segment our state and store so that we don't have conflicts between different parts of our application. So you don't need them. You could run with your global store and just store everything on that. And that's fine. And for a small or a large app, that's not a problem. The advantage of the modular approach is, and I think like everybody, is that it keeps your I guess your brain intact, your mental model, and your understanding of where the information is living a little bit more scoped, and it prevents conflicts between modules. And so for an example there, if you had two methods, like actions within your modules, and they had the same name for whatever reason, like increment, which is increment for whatever reason, because it's namespace like that and it's in a module, you won't have any conflicts between those two. So that's one of the advantages. You can reuse names because everything's namespace like that. I kind of like it. It's a fairly good approach for me. So let's go ahead and think about what exactly this module would be called. I would probably call this product details, I think, for now, and we'll run with that modular approach. Okay, great. So where were we here? Okay, so we've got our modules, cart, products, nice, awesome. We'll just keep looking at what they've got. All right, cart.js, nice. Okay, so they're defining their API calls in a separate file, that's fine. They've got some actions, mutations. Okay, that's what I was looking for, that namespace true. Nice. They've got whole sorts of things. And so sometimes people actually write separate files for their getters, actions, mutations. They import their actions and mutations, all sorts of fun stuff for maintainability reasons, for findability reasons, just to keep the everything kind of reusable and scoped nicely, and a larger project that makes a lot of sense for us. I don't really care just yet. If we run into those issues, we can always refactor. So I'm going to go ahead and start rolling here. And I guess I kept all of theirs lowercase. I guess we'll call this product.js. All right, awesome. So we're going to have a state or store? State, nice. We kind of use those synonymously sometimes. So we've got state, We're going to have constant mutations. And there's probably an order for this that is recommended. I don't remember it, and that's okay. You don't always have to do everything, as long as you've got them all. We're going to have some actions. I think, yeah, getters actually goes up there, but that's fine. At least in my head it does, because it's closest to the data. So we've got getters, mutations, and actions. And I don't know how well-versed everybody is in whatchamacall. In state management or Vuex. This is generally following like a flux pattern where you have your state, which is the source of truth. You have getters exposing that to your components. When you need to change that, actions let you do asynchronous activity to edit and wait for data and all of the important things that we usually do. And then mutations are the synchronous way that we directly update the state with the data from our actions. And so it generally forms a nice circle. So state, getters, actions, mutations, and kind of comes all back around. So state up top, it's like Vuex, getters, then our components, they perform actions, that goes to a mutation, and then you're back around again. So that's generally the rule. Nice. And then we'll just grab this export. Nice. Cool. We got everything here. And then in our index, and let me just throw in some foo true, just so we can see. I don't think that has to be, yeah, that can just be data. Nice. And then in our index, we will import that. And in the past, I've done some stuff where I've tried to kind of make this auto-generate the modules for myself, and that's doable. We don't have to worry about it just yet, I don't think. And we'll throw that product in there. If I had like a large project and there was tons of them, I'd be worried about it. But because we're probably not gonna have tons of modules just yet, I think we're okay. Awesome. So that looks like that's set up correctly. That looks good. All right, let's run it, see if it breaks. So we'll run our watcher. It's a good way to kind of do a sanity check too. If it breaks, we'll fix something. So far so good. Nice. And let me see if I can just go into our dev tools here, our Vue dev tools, and see what's going on. All right, that's a problem. So maybe on this page we can find it. Weird. Base state, awesome, look at that. So with our dev tools, we can jump right into our state essentially. And this is what I was talking about with the namespacing. You've got like product in front of it. That's what we're defining it as. And that's true. So if we, for example, turn that module, that namespace off and let it recompile and then switch it, that'll just be on our global object. Maybe this needs to update. Oh, something didn't like that. Thought that would update. No, am I looking at the right thing anymore? Let's see. View. State. That should have worked. Anyway, a better example of that would be to go to our index.js and actually edit the top level store and call it bar and say here, something like that. That's a better way to represent that. Awesome. So now, if we look at our Vuex, oh, that's the wrong one. Base state. I don't know why this is not updating. Well, until it becomes an issue, I'm not going to worry too much about it. We got all this other stuff we were looking at. Copy, export, copy, import. Weird. All right. Oh, I might have called it the wrong thing. Yeah, I think I did. Duh, it's state, not store. Nice. That should, see, that's the human error. Yeah, there we go. So that global state is up there on bar, and then namespace of the product is foo. So we're cooking with gas now. So it's nice if you do have that global state, and we might, all things considered, at some point. It's when I've built Vue SPAs and like authentication needed to be global. That's generally a good spot for that kind of stuff. You can namespace it too, but I've just had good success making it a little bit more. That's not what's going on. Global. And nice. Okay, so what were we doing? So within our app.js, nope, not app.js. Actually, I wonder if our tests are going to break. See, these are the questions. So we'll just hop in to our code and then LaraShoppe. And let's run tests. I think we have a test command. Probably yarn test. See if everything breaks, because we've added a dependency that we didn't have before. We're not using it in those components, so we should be okay. Yeah, nice. See, look at that. That's why we write the test, just because we like the green in it. Now we know that our stuff isn't broken. And if we went to the page, bada bing, bada boom, everything's working nicely. We've got this happy family over here. Great. So now I've got too many things open. So we get rid of index. We're going to hang on to product because we're going to use that. App.js. We can get out of our tests for a second. We'll come back to that guy. We don't need to worry about the controller. Okay, so what we do want to be doing is when we're selecting our color, probably setting that selected color on this product.js. And now we have a real question to ask. The selected color, should that be global in Vuex, or should that be part of our component? And because we're going to be sharing that information, we definitely need something on the global component. And since we're already putting there, we might as well use it down here as well. So, okay, let's go. How do we go about doing that? Where are we going to start? So first things first, we're going to write a getter. And what that's going to do is return the store value. The nice thing about these are they can be computed, which is super awesome. But right now, we don't even care about that. We'll just go ahead and define it. So in product.js, we're going to say selected color, and I believe that's null. Yeah, null. Nice. So this will be a selected color. Oop. I'll get our state. That's not JavaScript. Awesome. And then we'll just return state dot selected color. Awesome. Good stuff. Cool. So now if we go back to our state in here, if it's going to recompile for, yeah, nice. Yeah, so this is what I was talking about, the namespacing. I guess getters is more explicit about the namespace. This is in the old days, and if you wanted to activate one directly, that's how it would be. But now it's null, and if we wanted to change it, maybe we said blue. We update that. That should change here as well, which will be a good sandy check for us. Make sure everything's wired up and working. Let's see here. Is that not going to compile? Maybe I had to hit save. What was that? Command Shift R or something? Oh, there it goes. All right. Just to show us that it's working. Cool. I mean, it was, but that we can do stuff with it. And now we're going to want a mutation. Okay. So that's all we're going to do there. Nice, nice, nice. We don't really care about the payload. Actually, we do care about the payload because we're going to accept that from our whatchamacall. And actually, we've already done a lot of this functionality. So we're going to say select. We're just going to grab a lot of this. So select color, and that'll still be our second variable, but state will get passed in as our next one. Instead of this, we'll say state in a lot of these cases. Nice. So now we can commit that mutation, but what we're going to need to use in our module, our component rather, is the action. So let's grab one of those guys. Yeah, context. Yeah, and we just run the commit. And we're going to want to pass it some value. So let's see here. Look at this. I didn't even realize they were doing a checkout cart. So that's pretty nice. So we might want to, I might want to review this because they're probably smarter than I am. Great. All right. So they're using that sort of object destructuring or array destructuring, commit and state, and then they've got products. I don't know if we need to do that. I think I can just grab this. I guess I want the commit out of that. I see what they're doing. Okay. So I just want commit, but I'll pass in the name. And oh, there's a convention with mutations to do them like undercase like this, or capitalized. I don't know why. It's just something that people are doing, probably to differentiate from their actions, which is great. I think that's a smart thing to do. So that'll be commit, and we'll pass through the color again. And here we'll just do commit, and we'll say select color, and then we'll pass through whatever the color is. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And it doesn't really get more complicated than that. Primitive value we lost. We'll call it new. I don't know if that's an issue. Might be an issue. Okay. We could simplify that into, I didn't even think about it, a smaller sentence with a ternary statement or something like that. So we'll do that. Why not? So if they're equal, then I don't know. Some people like the early return here. Some people don't. Sometimes it's just nice to have everything on one line, and you're like, that's what's going on here. I should have probably focused on getting this back to our, it's the same issue, back to our passing state, and then worry about refactoring and optimizing, which is a good habit to get into. Cool. So now we've got our color selector component, and this is all happening in Vuex now. So we need to get our Vuex into our components here. And so what we can do is import this map actions from Vuex and also map getters. So we're going to want to import both of those. All right. So we'll import map actions and map getters. And now our tests are probably going to fail because we're adding Vuex. Great. So we've got selected color, which we can get rid of. Let's do one thing at a time here. So we'll say map actions. Let me just, you can do object or array notation. I like the array. I don't typically get more complicated than that. So map actions, what we are going to do though is pass product in here because we still need to use that namespace. So that'll be part of it. Great. And what do we have? We had select color. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. And then I'm deleting too much here. Great. And now for our data, we don't have select color here anymore. We want it from our getter. So let's go look at the syntax for that. Yeah, map getters. And we'll do the same thing here. So it's a computed property. We'll actually grab everything, because we're adding computed, which is awesome. And then we'll just call this selected color. Nice. And then we'll just get rid of the data here. Cool. So I think if everything is hunky-dory, and we go back to our, I guess this is the one that's updating. And we click, things are failing. Awesome. Why are things failing? Select color is not a function. All right, so there's something going on here with how I defined select color. I thought that was going to work. I have not done this enough recently. All right, so mutations. sorta commit. Oh, is that what's going on here? But I thought we were using the shorthand. Let me go look at an action. Yeah, that's what's going on. That's what's going on here. No worries. Okay, cool. So I just did the syntax wrong, which totally happens all the time. I've been doing this for years and I still screw this up all the time. That's fine. I think nobody is perfect. Unless you're maybe Evan or one of the guys working on the core, guys or gals, working on core stuff. All right, so I think we're a step closer at least. Unknown getter, selected color. All right. So return getter selected color. Oh, did I not namespace that correctly? Yeah, that's the issue. So they're right. There is none. So that was a descriptive error for us, which is nice. Exit out of that. Some of these, now that we don't need them as much, we might come back. All right, now we're back to at least the interface working. And the cool thing is now if we look at our dev tools, first off, we can see all of the, I believe these are the mutations because of the uppercase. See, that's why, because we can look at it at a glance and see the uppercase mutations. But we can see all the changes that we've made, the history of what we've done in our Vuex state. So this is one of like the big advantages of rolling with this. And as you can see, it's all namespace of product. So if we made it global, we wouldn't have this like product dash. Instead, we do, and that's really nice because now we can be like, okay, what module is this happening in? What's the deal? And then if we look at our color selector component, what's really nice is like this in the old days used to not be here. And now they've got all your Vuex bindings in here, so you can see these getters that are defined. Before, I think it might have come up and computed, it might not have at all, but they've been able to distinguish the difference. And so now you get a really clear view into what's going on here. Awesome. So now this is available over in our size selector, which is great, which is going to be a big issue for us. But let me just try and run the test suite just to see how bad this blows up. If it doesn't blow up, I'll be pretty happy, but I think it will. Yeah. Okay, so what's going on here? Just encountered an unexpected token. Let's see. Trying to import a file. Stop playing JavaScript. That's true. Very true. Oh. All right. So let's Google around. So that's just object spread. Let me see. These are a little out of date. I thought we had set this up to parse nicely. So in our package JSON, yeah, I thought we had Babel just running. What's our Babel RC file? We might need to add Babel RC object. Yeah, nice. Very nice. Oh, there's a lot of them. That one looks recent. I don't know. Spread properties. Plugins. Oh, awesome. Awesome. See, these guys, or gals, I don't know who wrote it, but they've done a yarn. Does yarn save? Oh, goodness. Excuse me for I could have just gotten out of it. How did we do this earlier? Yarn add. Ooh. There's a way to add dev. I don't remember. And now we'll just go ahead and add this to our plugins, which I guess we'll need to add. Anyway. Oh, is there like a way to do that nicely? I don't know if I have that CLI installed, so that's fine. Yes. Yes. Cool. Right on. I like separating it out. That should fix it for us. Let's give it a whirl. See how we're doing here. Yeah, so object spread is a newer. All right, we got a whole bunch of issues now. Unknown plugin. Might need to set that up better. Might need to import that. I thought all right. I probably did not add that correctly. So let's see. Let's see what's going on. But like I was saying, the object rest spread is not, unfortunately, it's not always the best. Yeah, where's this guy? It's not always supported in some of these other additional packages. I thought it would be. Maybe the Vue utils has some better guidance on the installation. That's not quite what we're looking for, but we'll get there. Awesome. Awesome. Using a test fire. All right, using with Vuex. Great. Which we need to look at this anyway. So that's not a problem. So local. Oh, maybe we'll do that first. And that'll hook us up. Maybe I'm over optimizing for something we're not even doing yet. So local view, importing Vuex, all these good things. So we want to hop into our color selector component. And let's go ahead and throw these guys down here. So that was getting added here. And we're going to import Vuex as well. Maybe I did some work that I didn't need to do. Now I'm actually going to undo everything here just to see where we're at. Awesome. Okay, so back to color selector. So now we've gotten everything in there. I don't think we need to mock anything just yet. To see if it's at least working and the tests are failing as opposed to something else failing. Okay, now it's still those unexpected token. Let's see if anyone's having an issue. These are all kind of old. Let's see. That's loading up. Cool. Let's see. Looks like they were able to solve it. I guess they did have to mock it, which, we'll figure out. Okay. I think that's fine. So we'll just have our actions and our store. They were talking about mocking actions, mocking getters. Okay. So they're not using the spread there for some reason. All right. We'll do it one step at a time here. So we'll start with our getters. So we'll add store and getters. I guess we can get rid of that. And then before each, so we already have that. So we're gonna have our getters and our store as well. Nice. And then this shallow mount getters, and then store is actually being passed into here, as well as local view. Awesome. That could have been our issue, actually. Actually, let's try that. See if that was the issue, and then if not, I could have just missed a step, which happens. Let's see here. All right, we're still getting the same issue. Okay, so now we're really getting somewhere. So Babel config. Oh, it would help if we were mocking the right thing, not our random inputs there. All right, select a color, and that'll be null to start. And then we throw in that guy in there. Alrighty. But I still think this is going to fail, just because it didn't even parse what we're talking about. All right. So let's run up to the top here. So test this. Local view. Alrighty. Let's go back to the introduction there. I'm looking for like the installation. Also, this used to open. All right, there we go. All right, let's see if there's anything in here that we need that I didn't grab for whatever reason. Oh, could be that at. All right, we'll come back to that. We've got Babel.js in here. Pretty sure. So open up our package JSON. No, sorry, not the package JSON, but our. What is this in? Babel RC? No, this is in. I'm in the right spot. Okay. Yeah, it's reusing Vue.js, Babel.js. Maybe I need to do it in here. Module mapper, that's right. All right, Babel for Jess. Example Babel RC. All right, that's what we have. We don't need to do a snapshot, and then it runs into the next one. All right, I think we're on the right track with that. Babel RC. Let's see, that's 2018 at least. Let's see. Yeah, that's what I thought we were trying to do. All right, let's run with that. So let's add that guy in there. I guess it's supposed to be dev, but that's fine. So I'm wondering why the other one didn't work. I thought we installed something very similar to that. Oh, it's proposal? I don't know. And then our Babel. Awesome. So in here, let's try that. All right, let's see if we're cooking with. Oh, no, thank you. Don't want to be too quick on the draw there. Okay, let's see if that hooks us up. What we're looking for. It's taking a little longer. Alrighty. Okay, nice. So now we're getting some failures because we don't have our actions mocked, which is awesome. And not great, but we're a step in the right direction now. Cool. So where were we? This is Vuex, and we wanted the test utils. So let me close out of these guys because we figured it out. Damn it. Command-Shift-T on your Chrome browser will open your last closed tab, which is something I do all the time. So I highly recommend that guy. Okay, so we're going to have to mock our actions in here. So that's not what we're looking for. It's just a jest function. All right. So I'm not quite sure. I should have looked at the example. Okay, so action input if true. And what's happening there? At input, so every time there's a click in the input, or typing in the input, that's going to fire. We'll grab the event. It's an input event. It's going to dispatch that action input. Interesting. Okay. Then what's the action click? Okay, that's what's going on there. Cool. Cool, cool. So now we're grabbing our actions, source components action. So they're importing that actions directly. I'm wondering where that's going to end up. Oh, that's a component, excuse me. I thought that was that sort of namespacing we were talking about earlier a little bit more. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead, grab everything that's going on here, and come on, all right. That actions, we're going to move that. We'll move the store up. And then we'll define, so this will be, what did we call it? I think it's, I can open this up now. Product.js, select color, awesome. Great, great, great. In our store, we'll have actions. We're having a grand old party. And now inside our test, we're going to have to be doing some other things now. So actions.action click to have been called. So this is going to tell us if they were called. So we mock as we're calling Vuex or mock values, we only pass the actions, that's not what we're caring about. I wonder if there's a way to mock it so we get the change that we're expecting, but let's see what we're getting in our test suite. Okay. Okay, so now I think we're doing a little bit better. Oh, in our map getters and our map actions. Huh. Ooh, now we're getting somewhere because we're not namespaced. And how would we do that? I wonder if we could just do this. That might have been wishful thinking. That's probably closer. There we go, mocking the modules, thank you. And in the test, it's like they know what's going on. Oh, that makes sense. Module is my module. So there we go, they're just doing it in a centralized location instead of what I was trying to do, which is put it everywhere. And copy paste it around, which is fine. Alrighty, so now, see, the test will tell you things, even if things are wrong. Reading those error messages, getting a feel for why the system thinks you're screwing up, generally a good idea. Okay, module namespace not found in map getters product. Did I call it the right thing? I did. Okay. Maybe I need to do a lot of different things here, but let's see here. So my module. They're actually importing the module. Where is that getting used? Just there? All right, let me try it. So we'll import product from, what did we call it? State? Where am I? Probably have to go up. Yep. Store, modules, product. Okay, so we've got product in here now. Store equals new Vuex store, that looks good. Product. That all looks nice. interesting. So where is that guy coming from? That's what I'm having a hard time with here. So let's see. Not module. Right. Oh, so he's pulling that right from there. All right, let's try that. We should call it the right thing. So product.getters. Let's uppercase this just for our sake. Why is that not playing nice? Oh, because I've got to define the key. Okay, so we can get out of there. And we'll just mock the actions, which is cool. We're getting a little bit farther now. So I guess we don't have to mock the getters if we're going to import the module like that. All right, we're still getting that namespacing. Yeah. So the interesting thing here is that these are not actually coming from a module that I can tell, because you should have that namespace there. Let's look. Vuex test namespace. And he's the guy who actually wrote Vue test utils, so he's probably got some ideas. All right, what's going on here? Actions. Oh, this is old school. We're using Scion and everything. It's probably before test utils were written. All right, I don't know if that's going to help us with what we want. So they look like they were working on it. I don't know if they've done anything. So literally the last 28 days. How do we get this working? All right, so this is what we might be. That would make sense to throw that in there. So the problem with mocking is like everything that you thought was really nice and set up, it's not. You're basically recreating it. So if you miss a step, your mocks are all off. That's why I don't love mocking. Awesome. So it looks like we got rid of that namespace issue finally. Cool. And we actually did some other stuff. We've kind of got our getters defined in here, which is nice. Okay, so what's going on here? Renders the colors correctly. So select a color. Okay, so we've got a whole different setup to these last three tests. Cool. Let's go back over. Actually, let's look at this for a second. So find, trick, expect actions login to have been called with. Oh, nice. Let's run this guy. So, and we'll call this select color to have been called width. Now I don't know that one as well as I probably should. So I wonder if that is in Vuex. I'm sorry, Vue test utils, the API. Maybe. Oh, that's probably my mistake. Part of jest. That's part of the assertion. So we're doing a trial amount. All right, that's getters. All right, I don't care about that anymore. We are interested in actions. That's what we're trying to test. Okay, so expect action.input to have been called. Okay, that'll get us to step 1. At least, I hope. So we should only see 2 failures now. We should get 10 passed, which will be nice. Yeah, nice, awesome. But I want that test to be a little bit more. I want it to be see that it's passing through red. So we'll go to jest. That might be anything. Yeah, look at that. So to be called with. It's in past tense. There we go. Awesome. Alrighty. To be called with to ensure that mock function. Cool. I can deal with that. Croy, it's got orange. Was called with the beverage. Apply F. Oh, I have to make sure that works. Since we're mocking that. Alright, so I think we can just pass that in as the first param here. Nice. Let's make sure it's still working. Okay, so now we're failing again. That's cool. So expected string but received object. Oh, that might have been what was going on there a second ago. Let me see. I'll get it. What they might have been working on. A better understanding of that method than I was. Nope, still not working. So received. 2 of them called. Match does not accept any arguments. All right. I'll go back. All right, back to the examples. Let's see here. Should render correctly. Actions login, that's just a mocked function. All right, to the guides. I mean, this will pass for us, and that's not the worst thing in the world. Let's see what they recommend us reading. So mocking, mock return values. That's not the worst thing in the world. So that's my problem with mocking is like you're hard coding in the implementation and the expectation to what should be happening. And so when things break, you might not catch the break, which is always a shame. But I think at this point, maybe we can check the actual module because we're importing it. No, that probably won't work. I expect that to be called. I bet if we mocked it and then checked it, it would. Called with specific arguments for that. Let's see, register function, apply all. F to all register beverages. So we got LaCroix. Cool. And we got a register function, pass that in. And we're mocking F, which is just our mock. So expect F to have been called with beverage. Interesting. So because that's been registered, that should have been, that's our only beverage in the system. So when we apply it to all of them, which is just the one beverage, F should have been called and beverage should have been the argument. Okay. Oh, that's kind of nice. I don't think that is applicable to our action, but all right. Do them called with. We'll start there. And you know what? That's probably what's going on here. Is that Vuex expects other data besides what I am trying to give it, which is red. So let's just try throwing this guy in here. Oop. Didn't break it. Not yet. Oh no. Come on. Okay. Awesome, awesome. We'll run it again. Okay, so I think that was my issue. Cool, cool, cool. So the action is actually under the hood getting passed a lot more information than I was passing it. I was just trying to pass it what I thought was getting passed in the implementation. So example, the color, but I forgot about all the stuff that was going on up here. And then I guess undefined needed to be there. That could just be a view thing that I just don't know about, which is fine. Okay, so now you can unselect the color. So what's happening here? So we're triggering the click. So we'd expect this to be red again. And then, okay, so this is different. So let's think about this. So we're triggering the click. And so we'd expect the red. Then we're triggering it again, but this time I'm not sure that, oh, I guess we would expect it to be null. Let me go back to our, let's see here, product.js. So, because we're just passing in the, so we're not passing in null there, we're actually doing that logic up in the mutation, which we can do. We could do it lower. It's really up to us. So really at this point, we don't know that we're unselecting the color because we don't know what the mutation is doing. We just know that it's being triggered and then sent to Vuex. So we probably would need to write tests for our Vuex module itself, and then understand that is happening there, which is not as good, I guess, for us. I would have liked this to be a little bit more defined. Okay, but for now, because we probably spent too long on testing and not enough time on implementing any of these features, let's go ahead and cheat a little bit, which I think is fine. There's a fine balance between writing tests for yourself that are going to help your project and actually getting work done, and I'm still working on figuring out that balance. Depends a lot on the project itself and the scope and what is going on. And I'm really, see, we spent the whole hour setting our tests up, setting Vuex up, and then getting everything good to go. And we probably could have spent a little bit more of that time actually writing some functionality for ourselves. So again, this is down to what you're comfortable with and you're working on. So I'll leave a note for ourselves. So not working because of Vuex implementation. Great. So at least we have a note for ourselves about what's going on. And then next time, I might work on this a little bit, try and get this at least figured out for us next time so we can spend less time focusing on the testing, which I think is important and interesting, but we're really trying to build out some features here. I think we spent the last couple of casts really focusing on the testing side of things, and we're ready to start moving along with some features, or at least I am. That's kind of a good sort of heuristic for understanding if you should be writing tests or if you should be writing feature code. And so that's something I like to find. But anyway, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. I hope you learned something or at least thought about something new. Join us next week. We'll be back on Tuesday at 6 p.m. And follow me on Twitter at NickJBastille for kind of my weekly thoughts. I don't have too many, but sometimes I'll post something interesting or funny, or at least I interact with people, and that's generally pretty fun. Have a great rest of your evening, and we'll see you next week.